On this episode, the most basic of real estate questions answered. Sort of. This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show. Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey, and this is episode, somehow, 131 of the Ask Jason Show. I'm doing a lot of this lately because I have a lot of hair. Not long back from fabulous Las Vegas at EXPCon 2022. EXPCon just means their international once-a-year convention, their conference, and where, I'm sorry Joe, look, just, are you ready? Just watch. Look at that, how respectful. You should see his face. He's so happy right now. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I don't know exactly the number, 7,000 plus. And I was honored with the opportunity to speak to those persons, or whichever one selected to attend the sessions that I did, because I was asked to talk twice. Anyway, so I'm not long back from that. The reason I'm talking about Vegas, this show has nothing, this is a really simple episode actually. Very, very simple question, because there's some things in flux with our purchase prices and stuff and interest rates and blah, blah, blah. So somebody just asked, like, what determines how much a house sells for? Like, what? And so it's a really, really simple question, complicated answer, but very simple question. But before we get to that, I had a little ADHD moment when I was doing this and my hair was going everywhere. And Joe, I mean, we know Joe doesn't have as much hair as he used to. He does, except, he's like, except on my back. Oh, am I warm? I knew it as soon as I did it, but I knew it. Ah, shoot. Anyway, authenticity, let's leave it in. Excellent. Which is funny because the Stratocaster that you have here, that is your son's. Do you want to grab it? It is the Stratocaster from Wayne's World, isn't it? Pretty much. Pretty close, yeah. See, look at this thing. This is his son Ethan's. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so beautiful. I still can't play the guitar. I'm getting there though. Anyway, this is a beautiful guitar. When I'm in the desert, my hair is luscious. It is so pretty. Joe, it's the weirdest thing, man. Like, there's so much humidity here. So like it all the curls, and it gets all big and fluffy, and they look like Lil Dicky. Do you know who Lil Dicky is? Oh, I was just gonna tell you to Google Lil Dicky. Okay, so he's a rapper. He's a white rapper. If you just do a quick look, you know. So let's put a little picture up here. Anyway, this is Lil Dicky. He's actually a super talented rapper. He's had a couple of TV shows. So when I'm in St. John's, I got hair like Lil Dicky. But when I'm in the desert, I look like a European football superstar. My hair is like flowing and long and like it's amazing. Anyway, none of that has anything to do with this episode. This episode is meant to be very simple. And as you can imagine, given the amount of Ritalin that I take in a day, not much I do is very simple. However, this question is, what affects how much a house sells for? Obviously, there's a ton of variables here. This came from somebody who wants to sell their house. They have a tenant in place that has been making it difficult for them to sell because they've been there for a while. The house is in a bit of disrepair. They want to get it fixed up before they put it on the market. And when I say disrepair, I just mean that it needs to be painted. It needs to be cleaned up. They might like do this or that, change some light fixtures, brighten the place up a little. It's not falling down. It's a good house. But the tenant's having a hard time getting out, because it's a hard time to go somewhere else. And I know that this is hard for a lot of people. These particular tenants aren't in a position to purchase, even tried to put something together with them as a rent to own, because that is a possibility. If anybody's interested in that, reach out. We do, at the Ask team, we've done a few of those, they happen. But anyway, this one's hard to sell. So the client was saying to me, am I looking at less money for my house now that interest rates have gone up? And I said, well, there's a million variables there. There's a lot of things, but I mean, possibly yes, but also possibly no, because if you're an investor, your interest rate is like a tax deductible expense. So like there's pros and cons to everything. So she just asked the question, what affects how much my house sells for? So I was like, okay, I'll answer it. This will not be an exhaustive list because I think this is probably as infinite a list of possible variables as you could have if you're talking about real estate, because there are a million. But I'll tell you the ones that come up most often. And these are in no order of importance. Some of them will matter more to others than others might. Like for instance, if you have hardwood in your house and your hardwood is all scratched up because you've had a big dog for 20 years, then to some people, that's gonna make your house worth less money. But Director Joe got a big old German Shepherd. He's so freaking cute. He's super sneezy, but he's so cute. So you wouldn't care. That wouldn't make the house worth less to you because your hardwood's dinged up because of Ray and also the glorious Gibson. Oh, the best dog ever. Yeah, okay, I'll show Gibby. Oh, I love Gibson. I still have the Gibson guitar t-shirt at my house somewhere. Remember you gave it to me one day to put on. We were going to film a second episode and I never gave it back. I still have it somewhere. I have no idea where. And he's like all angry. So there's a bunch of things. Okay, let's see. Let's start. Interest rates can matter. If money is really expensive and you are not paying cash for something, then the more interest you have to pay, the higher the carrying costs on the house are. Generally speaking, high interest rates force the price of things down. And not just in real estate, just in general. So we're raising interest rates across Canada to try and combat inflation. It's the same thing. Bring the price of things down by making money more expensive. So that matters. Well, what's your curb appeal like? Does your house look shitty from the street? Is your grass overgrown? Do you need to pressure wash your siding? Do you have a leaky roof? Like, does it need to be painted? All of these things matter. Let's assume we're looking at houses that compare apples to apples, apples to oranges. I understand that people say, it's like comparing apples to oranges, but really, apples and oranges have a lot more in common than they have, not in common. They're both round. They're both fruit. They're both, bright colors if they are ripe. They're both very juicy. They're both nice to have with breakfast. Only one tastes good dipped in peanut butter, I think, but I'm not sure. But anyway, they're actually a lot alike. So, let's compare our houses that are apples to apples. All other things created equal. It's on the same street, same condition, same size, same blah, blah, blah. Because obviously the bigger house in the better neighborhood sells for more money than the itty bitty crappy house that's in the crappy neighborhood. So Joe's house. No, I'm joking. Joe says that's actually lovely. It's quite nice here. It really is. Anyway, other things that can affect the sale price of your house. How good is your marketing? Do you have a real estate professional who has your house up for sale that is really adept at reverse engineering statistically who should be buying your house? So would it be a family who buys your house? Would it be a single person? Is it an investor? Who's going to buy it? And how do they create the marketing to speak to that person? That increases the demand on your home. Supply and demand is the only thing that ever affects purchase price, ever. So if the demand goes up, there's still only one in your house. So obviously the price goes up. Are you willing to pay somebody what they feel they are worth to bring a buyer to your house? Will an agent get paid to sell the place? That can affect your sale price. Are you up on what we call MLS? Or are you trying to sell it in other places where not as many people see it for sale? That can affect how much it sells for. Like if you have something that 1,000 people want, but only, 2 of them know that it's for sale. If 1,000 of them know it's for sale and they're lining up and bidding against one another, you will get more than if only 2 people know it's for sale. So the quality of your marketing and your exposure will increase the demand. So there's a million different reasons that a house sells for more or less than others. How good is at negotiating are you or the person who you have given the right to sell your house to? I consider my expertise in real estate to be in a couple of different areas: investment, new home construction, marketing, and negotiation. Those are the things that I consider myself to be better at than all of the other stuff in real estate. Who you have hired to sell your place for you will affect your sale price. So to answer the question, what affects how much my house sells for? The list of things that don't affect how much your house sells for is actually shorter. And I'm gonna try and think of some things that don't affect how much your house sells for. How much is left in my glass of water? Probably You didn't lose equity just then as I took a sip, but it's also like sort of irrelevant to the conversation that we're having. But the answer is everything. Everything matters. But sometimes you don't have the opportunity to maximize, because a sale is really just like it's a transaction in which you want to extract however much money you have in that house in a sale conversion process, okay? So that you're just trying to get as much money out as you can. And there's basically, on average, 3 priorities that a seller has. They want to sell at the most convenient time frame for them. So whether that's fast, or if they're having a new house built and that's not going to be done until March or whatever, their timing, right? So their convenient timing, the purchase price. Sometimes, well, I mean, everybody wants the highest price they can get all of the time, obviously. Like, you always want to sell for as much as possible, of course. But sometimes the timing is more important than the price within a few $1,000s. Like, I've done deals before where I'm in a multiple offer situation, but I know that the people where I'm representing the buyer, and I know that the people who are selling have a new house that doesn't close for like 5 months. My clients are like, yeah, cool, we can wait 5 months. But the other clients who are competing, they might want to move in like now. So I could buy that house for like 5, maybe even 10 grand less and still get in, because their priority was timing. So timing, purchase price, and also how big a pain in the ass is this? Like the stress level, the ease of process. Those are the 3 important things in selling a house. And now, it's possible that you can capitalize on the majority of them, but not always can you. Because if timing is really important, then maybe cash flow is an issue. So if cash flow is an issue, maybe you don't have the ability to update the things that you kind of need to do in order to get that top price. And if you can't get the work done, maybe you can't sell as fast as you want, but you would sell faster if you had the money to put the work in to make, and it's just mind-boggling. So back to the list of things that affect how much your house sells for. I think the first one is your commitment to doing the proper due diligence to ensure that the person you are investing into to help you through the process is the right person for you. For instance, there are houses regularly bought and sold in and around the city of St. John's for well over $1 million. 1.5, 1.6, 1.25, 1.3. Like, that happens a lot. Like, we do that often. But if you take notice, a lot of the same guys do those deals. When I say guys, I don't mean men, I mean persons. A lot of the same people, men, women, however they identify, a lot of the same people do those deals. I do a lot of new home construction stuff because of that expertise thing. But generally speaking, the biggest impact on how much you will sell your house for is if you're hiring a professional or not. So like private sales, historically speaking, not at any particular point in time, but like across the whole graph of time in general, since we've been monitoring things, they're successful like 2% of the time. If you're fortunate enough to be in that 2%, boom. Amazing. That's good. I'm happy for you. If you're one of the other 98, and let's face it, 98% of us are, like, do the math, that's a lot. If you are hiring a professional or not, that's the first thing. That'll affect your sale price. The second thing is, which one did you hire? Unlike gender, this is binary. It makes a difference. Just think for a second what you do for a living. Whatever it is. You could be a bricklayer. You could be a plastic surgeon. You could be, I don't know, a traveling salesman. You could be, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are, the better at your job you are, the more you're worth to the market. And the same is true for your house. The better your house is, the more it's worth to the market. The same is true for your realtor. The better your realtor is, the more they are worth to the market. And you are the market. We're not all created equal, just like all the bricklayers aren't created equal. And trust me, I do a lot of new home construction. Not all the electricians are created equal. But I can tell you, spending the extra $850 to get the right electrician, it's going to save you a ton of money throughout your build, because you're not going to have to go back and look for stuff that got messed up, because the electrician was smart enough to know that when he's running a wire close enough through the framing that the drywaller could possibly drill into it, he puts a little metal plate there to make it impossible. That's worth $850, because you do not want to go back through and find that one little issue. And the same goes for all subcontractors. trades. Same goes for realtors. I went off on like a massive tangent here, didn't I? This is so unexpected of me. I don't ever do this. I'm getting this. That means wrap it up. Or, I don't know. Is this you talking about how you're no longer using a motorized lawnmower and you're going to use one of those propelled ones because you chopped your finger off with is that maybe? Anyway, also is back. Hey, but he didn't even make a show of it because he smashed, that's still here, isn't it? Because he smashed the last one. If y'all remember. Smashed this because he hates me. And his wife told him he had to get a new one. And didn't even make a deal out of it. Didn't even be like, hey, look what I got. It was just there when I came in. Thanks, bro. I love you too. It's great. Anyway, I figure that's the end of this episode. So in summation, in the desert, my hair is glorious. And I look like a European footballer. I think they call them footballers or footy players or something like that. Whatever it is. I look like a movie star when I'm in Vegas. But I may have also been less than 100% focused. Actually, that's not true. I drank a lot less than you would expect somebody to while in Las Vegas. And I don't partake in any other recreational intoxicants. They just don't work well for me. So I had a good time. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, wrap it up. Okay, I got great hair in the desert when there's no humidity. If you want to get more money for your house, you have to hire well, you don't have to, but 98% of the time you have to. And the one that you hire matters with how much your house sells for. Is it? Done. And I got a new mug. And I threw my phone over there and I've been having anxiety ever since. So I'm gonna grab it. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you.